Have you ever pictured what a secret, high-tech innovation factory might look like? Well, today we're getting a peek inside one. We're going to explore a whole portfolio of some pretty wild technology. But the real story here isn't just the tech itself, it's the incredibly rigid, almost robotic process that controls exactly how new ideas are even allowed to come into being.
I mean, just look at this stuff. We're talking about a voter-auditable election system, a full-on autonomous driving platform, even a smoke condensation chamber system. This is some seriously futuristic tech. But what's really going to blow your mind isn't what these things are. It's the set of ironclad rules that dictate how anyone is allowed to talk about them.
And just so we're clear, this isn't some casual wish list. This is an official collection of 13 patent-eligible technologies. It's all curated under a project called the Tech Rocks Idea Series. So yeah, this is high-value, serious intellectual property. And as you're about to see, it is managed with absolute precision.
And this table right here, this is it. This asset registry is the entire universe. From traffic signals to data centers, if it's not on this specific list of 13 systems, it might as well not exist. For this process, everything starts and ends right here. No exceptions.
So that brings us to the real question, right? You've got all this incredible technology. How do you generate and share new ideas about it? You'd probably picture these cool, creative workshops, open brainstorming sessions, but the reality is something else entirely.
Well, the answer is a formal policy called the G2P 001 Daily Innovation Workflow. And those words on the screen, structured, process, yeah, those are the absolute cornerstones of this whole system. It's all about the rules.
It all starts with these 3 words. And this isn't a suggestion, it's not a friendly prompt, it's a command. The entire innovation pipeline, all of it, stays dormant until someone manually types this exact phrase, Daily Innovation Brief. This is actually called the Operational Trigger Protocol. It's a completely non-negotiable manual start. No shortcuts, no automation. Every single session has to begin with this simple but totally critical act of typing. Think of it as the first lock on a very, very secure door. Okay, so you've typed the magic words. Now what? Well, here's the next constraint. Even though the source documents talk about things like videos and podcasts, this specific workflow has only one acceptable output, infographics. That's it. All that creative energy has to be funneled into this single specific format.
And from there, the rulebook just gets thicker. The framework demands that you produce exactly 3, not 2, not 4, 3 innovations per session. You have to focus only on what they call key betterment points, and you can only use approved internal documents as your starting point. Oh, and of course, there are very strict naming rules for everything.
Let's dig into that source material rule for a second, because it's a big one. The information hierarchy is absolute. The foundation for any new idea must come from their internal library. You're only allowed to look at external research for secondary ideas that build directly on top of something that's already approved internally. The whole system is designed to look inward first and foremost.
Now, what's just as important as the do's are the don'ts. You are absolutely forbidden from even mentioning the workflow itself. You can't talk about any tech that isn't one of the 3 you chose for that session. And this one is the real kicker. You are explicitly prohibited from trying to innovate on the policy itself. The system protects itself from change.
So, after you've jumped through all those hoops, after you've navigated this maze of rules, you'd think you're done, right? Nope. Every single session ends with a high-stakes finale, the mandatory policy check. And this is not a friendly review, it's a scored test, and it's all about how perfectly you followed every single rule.
And here's how they grade you. Your work is scored on 4 criteria, all weighted exactly the same: naming, focus, foundation, and policy updates. Each one is worth a perfect 25% of your score. The only acceptable outcome is 100%.
Just to give you an idea of how brutal this is, let's look at the naming check. If you forget to put the correct asset prefix, like G2VAES, at the very beginning of your title, boom, that's an instant 25% penalty. One tiny mistake costs you a quarter of your entire score.
And that last 25%, it's not even about the quality of your ideas. To pass the policy update check, you have to explicitly type this exact phrase: policy update confirmed. It's like this final robotic declaration that you have obeyed the machine.
But what if you make a mistake way back at the beginning?
What if you forget to type those 3 little trigger words, daily innovation brief? Well, the penalty for that isn't 25%, it's 100%. One mistake at the very start gives you an automatic score of 0. All that work for nothing.
So you have to be asking yourself, why? Why this extreme, almost paranoid level of control? Well, the manual is pretty clear on the goals: efficiency, speed, and what they call superior production. The whole point is to create a perfect, streamlined pipeline that turns raw data into a finished product as fast as possible.
And this whole thing leaves us with one big final thought. The G2P 001 workflow is an absolute masterclass in process engineering, no doubt about it. But it really makes you wonder, by scripting every single step and punishing any tiny deviation, when does a so-called perfect process actually become the enemy of real, true innovation? It's that classic battle between order and creativity.